Hello and welcome to Recharge Wrestling. We are here to plug you in to the world of professional wrestling. I'm Keeney and I'm joined this week by Fisher.
Hello.
So we got a two-man pod this week, but
Yep.
this is business time for us guys. It is Mania season. We are days removed from WrestleMania. We cannot wait for it, and we've got all the usuals this week. We've got the new segment at the start, and then we'll go into the WWE programming, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, and then on to AEW at the end.
Yeah.
So let's kick off with news. And I think the big news from this past week is Triple H announcing his retirement.
Yeah, I think last Friday. I swear every news set thing happens on a Friday, and we do our pod on a Thursday night. So we have to remember it for a week nearly before we can talk about it.
Yeah, well, I guess it gives us time to kind of digest it. I mean, what do you make
and get reaction to it
of Triple H retiring?
I did see it coming because of what happened to him last year with the heart thing, and yeah, but I just a bit. It's sad that he never got his sort of send off match. Everyone seems to have that, and I think it would have been great for him as well to have a match in NXT as well.
Yeah.
I think that was something that would have been really cool if he had a match in NXT, like even at Takeover this year, like the Stand and Deliver or whatever. If he'd have had a match there, and then like maybe WrestleMania next year, like his retirement match or something. So it's a shame he hasn't got to have that, but what a career he's had. One of the biggest name wrestlers of all time. People doing that water spit thing still these days. I think people know his theme music, like it's iconic. I feel like he's one of the wrestlers that people that don't watch wrestling, if you go, oh, do you know who Triple H is? They'll know who he is, which does say a lot. And obviously, as a booker in NXT, he was brilliant. And I hope he can still have some sort of involvement in wrestling, because it's NXT 2.0 obviously isn't really his thing anymore. I know I get that he probably wants to spend time with his family and do all that, but yeah, it's a shame he didn't get to have a send-off match. But I hope he still has some sort of involvement in the business and doesn't just sort of be at home, really.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think we were all hoping, especially when he was in charge of NXT, that he would go on to replace Vince once he stepped aside. And that seemed to be the direction they were headed, and maybe they're still heading that way.
I really don't think that is going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's the dream, because like you say, his booking in NXT, that was the peak NXT years when he was in charge, and it was amazing.
I think NXT between 2015 and 2019, 18 was probably the best wrestling I've ever watched.
He made it. He made it the third.
Exaggeration.
Yeah. He made it the third brand. They were the third brand for a while.
And the pay-per-views were perfect every time. There was no like, oh, there's a dud match here and there. They were all amazing every time, because they weren't too long. They were like 5 matches, and of course he can still do involvement in that. I mean, we're talking about his in retiring from in-ring career, really. He can still get back into this, but
yeah, no, definitely.
It does feel like he's stepping away for a while from the business completely, though.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I think his health is the most important thing. We say this, realistically, if he has to step away, he has to step away, and that's the right thing for him to do. But in terms of his wrestling career, I mean, just one of the best. Like, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think he gets spoken about enough in terms of like the elite level. If you're picking top 3-5 wrestlers of all time, he's got to be in the conversation, in my opinion.
I think it's because he's not like the character wasn't as big as The Rock or Stone Cold or The Undertaker, for example. And in ring, he's not quite seen on the level of like a Shawn Michaels or a Bret Hart. But if you put both together, he's right in the mix. And I think actually him being part of like the McMahon family, like marrying into the family, kind of holds him back in a little sense with the fan base sometimes. And obviously the way he was booked when he had his sort of reign of terror, I think it was in like 2002 when he was champion non-stop, and he was beating guys left. I mean, I remember him beating Booker T at WrestleMania, and everyone was kind of like, that was a wrong decision. There's stuff like that over the years that I think have turned people off him. but that doesn't stop him being one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the day, I don't agree with all of Brock Lesnar's booking or Roman Reigns' booking or Randy Orton's booking or John Cena's booking, but they're all in that level of conversation, and they will be by the time they retire, in the case of the likes of Reigns and Brock.
They are. I actually think Reigns is an interesting name you brought down. I think there is some comparisons. I think, like Reigns, he wasn't the best wrestler, like Bellator wrestler. He's not an AJ Styles or a Seth Rollins. Like, they're better wrestlers, but in terms of storytelling, in terms of how he just knew his character really well. Like they say, he wasn't a flamboyant character like The Rock or Stone Cold or Undertaker, but he had it down to a T. And I recently went back and watched a couple of old matches, kind of in the past 6 months or so. And for me, still maybe the best match I've ever seen is Triple H and Mankind at Royal Rumble 2000.
Yeah, that was an amazing match.
It is one of the best matches I've ever seen. It is absolutely incredible. And
he's had some great ones with Taker. He's had great ones with, the whole list. You can go through everyone.
Exactly. And his matches with Brock, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, like it's just endless. And it's a shame. Like I say, it's a shame he doesn't get a chance to have a last match. It would have been cool if this was like Ciampa's last match on NXT was Triple H. That'd been quite a cool match, I think. Yeah. To do. And I'm sure Triple H would have loved to have done it, but yeah, he's made the right decision for himself. And do you have a bit of news? We have another Hall of Fame inductee, which is on Friday, I believe.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow as I'm recording. The Steiner brothers have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, which is interesting as one of their sons is fighting for the NXT title the day after.
That's what I find it very. I would like to see Braun even induct him. It'd be cool if he got some sort of say here.
Yeah.
I also think there's a possibility that the Steiner brothers could get involved at Stand and Deliver in the match. I've seen suggestions maybe, Robert Roode gets involved and then maybe the Steiner brothers stop him. That would be cool. But yeah, in terms of them going into the Hall of Fame, it's a really cool one purely because it's one I didn't see coming until recently. It's been rumored, but they've been on bad terms with WWE. Scott Steiner especially. They've said some stuff about WWE before that, I remember that I'm pretty sure Scott Steiner was banned from WWE. He was one of those people that's no, he would never work here ever.
Yeah.
So for him to be now going into the Hall of Fame, I think they've reached out to them. They've made peace of it. Obviously, like you said, with Braun being in WWE, and I think someone they really like and want to push as well is part of that. And it'll be interesting because Scott Steiner with a live mic, unscripted, anything could happen.
Yeah, but I say I don't think he's an easy person to tame, Scott Steiner. Could be interesting. I mean, I don't know much of the Steiner brothers as a tag team. Honestly, I didn't watch them much.
I know Scott a lot more than Rick.
Yeah, but I did see Scott a fair bit. And
Big Papa Pump in WCW, and
never his biggest fan personally. He wasn't my taste. I think Krusty obviously isn't here. I think he was a fairly big fan of him back in the day, but it's a cool one. I mean, all of these Hall of Fames, I think, with a pinch of salt, because it means so much, doesn't it? It's cool, but the fact that Undertaker's only just got in there,
it's a made up Hall of Fame essentially, isn't it? It's not done on it's not done on a ranking or merit. It's just done on whoever's on good terms with WWE. Obviously, people like the Undertaker are no brainers.
Mr. T's in there, isn't he?
Yeah, they have a celebrity wing. They have, they induct all sorts of people.
No celebrity this year. Could have thrown Bad Bunny.
They may well be one. They may well be one. Yeah. I know it's only tomorrow, but I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're not doing one. I don't think there's been one announced.
No, it'd be interesting. All right, let's move on to the week's wrestling, and we'll start with SmackDown. What was the main takeaway from SmackDown this week?
Right. Well, I don't want to start on a negative, so I'll try and find something I liked from the show, because my skid mark, my skid mark's a bit of a combination of a thing from SmackDown and Raw, to be fair. But we got. well, it's hard to find stuff. I didn't really rate SmackDown as a show that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
What I did like was the Brock stuff at the start. So he was just chilling in Roman Reigns' locker room. He, smashed some stuff up. He just sat there on his feet on his table eating grapes. And it was really cool. And Brock is just really likable in this role, which I never ever thought we'd say, really.
I know,
but he's been brilliant in recent months. And then obviously later on in the show, Paul and Roman comes to the ring. And then it goes to show the thing, and Brock's not there. He smashes up the car again, heads for the ring, comes through the crowd. He gets on the announce table with a chair, security surrounding him, takes all the security out. The Usos and Roman get Roman away. Usos get Roman away, sorry. But Brock just continues like beating up the security. The fans were going mad. And then it was kind of basic stuff. Roman just saying, "You'll acknowledge me as undisputed Universal Champion." It wasn't like an amazing segment, but I did like Brock particularly in this.
Yeah, no, I like that. I'm surprised with how much I like a face Brock Lesnar. That seems almost alien to us if we were talking back a couple of years ago. If we'd have got to this point where Brock, we are genuinely excited and love seeing everything Brock Lesnar does. But yeah, I think I think he was great on Friday, and I don't think there's too much else to add. I mean, the bigger Brock and Roman stuff I think came on Raw, which we'll get to, but this was kind of a preamble to it.
Because the thing is, I mean, especially Raw, we'll get into it, but like there was kind of not really a brand split on Raw, was there? There was a lot of SmackDown people on there.
Yeah, it was essentially the WrestleMania go home, and I feel like this Friday is going to be basically the WrestleMania pre-show,
with the Battle Royal on there, with the Intercontinental title being defended. It does feel like it's the pre-show for WrestleMania, and Monday was the go-home show. I think
they did that last year, but I seem to remember Andre the Giant being on SmackDown last year.
Jey Uso won it on SmackDown.
He did. Yeah,
Jey Uso won it on SmackDown in front of nobody. The thing is, then it was no crowd.
Yeah.
So whereas WrestleMania had fans, but SmackDown didn't. So I felt really bad for all the people in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. At least here, I know they're not in the front of the big crowd at the stadium, but at least it's SmackDown will have people there.
That's true.
I remember like Rey Mysterio was wrestling in it last year, and people like that, and like the Usos. And I was like, come on, guys, like, why is this not on the show? On the pre-show? And I mean, we can get into that this year. I don't understand why they advertised it on SmackDown. It's happening on SmackDown. They're doing it before the show. There's 2 nights. Apparently the pre-show is 2 hours long as well. Which
really,
if the pre-show is 2 hours long, why are you not putting this on there?
Yeah, that's mad.
To kill some time.
You should have at least 2 matches on a pre-show if it's 2 hours. I think you should have a match an hour at least on a pre-show, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's just too much. And like, I don't really watch pre-shows. I skip through for the matches. I don't watch them, but they just like, I don't think they add much to the show. Like, okay, obviously the reason for the pre-show is to get new people, maybe people who are on the edge of deciding whether to buy or not, to push them over the edge. Yeah. But I guess for us, as
that's why AEW call it a buy-in, because it makes sense.
It is a buy-in.
It's trying to make you buy into it. Yeah,
but like, as you know, we invested all the storylines, so having them kind of go over all the storylines again. Like,
I don't watch
it's just not for us, is it? I guess. No. And it won't be for a lot of the people there. I mean, I can't imagine being a fan and sit through 2 hours of that, and then a 4 or 5 hour show, however long the show's going to be. Long old time. At least it's not the one night where it was like 7. Like
it is better like that, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. So I think we need to mention Ronda Rousey and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Ronda cut a interesting promo.
She was stumbling all over her words here.
Yeah, she honestly, I do not think she is at the races at all at the moment. With
she needs a mouthpiece.
Her promo work, yeah. I think her and I hope her in ring will be better than her. And I'm sure it will be. I'm sure she'll be fine in ring.
I think she's good in ring. I think she can deliver in ring, but her she's not a natural speaker.
No,
she never has been.
Really. She shouldn't be speaking a lot. The only thing I did like from her promo is she kind of messed up saying women's SmackDown champion or something. She was like SmackDown, or she was like women's. I know, I mean, she's like, what do I even have to say women's for? And I was like, okay, fair enough. That's not a bad way to kind of save that.
Like, but she was stumbling on her words in the first place.
She was, and like just the whole story about, I've been breaking arms since I was 14, and you'll just be another arm to break or something. I was like,
I'm just not into this feud. It's as simple as that. I think the match would be good, but I'm not into the feud.
They are basically pinning this on Ronda Rousey's star power. I think that's what they're hoping justifies this main event in night one. Which I think we're all fairly certain it will. Well, it's been announced
I've heard different now, though.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they've changed their mind, considering, because I think Ronda Rousey's star power has fallen since she turned up. I think if you'd have told us before the Rumble, Charlotte Ronda's main event in Mania, you'd be like, oh wow, and now we're 2 days away and we're not into it at all. I just really, and I think that is mainly Ronda's fault. And also, Charlotte's character isn't the best.
Particularly interesting.
It's not the best.
It's just been done before.
I think we've seen it before. If this was Becky Lynch on the other end of just Ronda Rousey feud, Becky would have made it better, 100%, because Becky can make anything. Maybe even a Sasha might be able to do better here than what Charlotte has with Ronda, but it's just not worked. So you were going to say something about it not a main event in Mania potentially?
Well, I've heard rumors that potentially the Kevin Owens Stone Cold segment could main event, which makes me think that might turn into a match if it does. Because I don't think you could end the show on a talk segment. I just don't see how you can do that.
Yeah, not a Mania that night. Yeah,
I think it's a weird decision, but I've heard it could. So
I actually personally, if I'm booking a show, I'm opening it with this KO show. That's how I'm opening Mania personally.
Yeah.
If
I don't think it's a bad shout.
I think, God, you'll get the crowd up seeing Stone Cold straight away, then you're buzzing for the rest of the night. And I think that's the way I think personally that's the way to do it. But, I'm not a booker.
No, there's a reason why we're sat here, really.
Exactly. I mean, do you want to move on to your skid mark? We've got some positives.
It's hard to be. I don't want to be too negative, but so this is just not just from SmackDown, it's actually from Raw as well.
Yeah.
Because
you might as well mention the Raw thing now, because I don't think we're going to mention that during Raw.
But I'm going to mention it together. But so the treatment of Ricochet, normally the treatment of Ricochet, I'm sort of oblivious to it because it's just like, whatever, they don't really care about Ricochet. But he's just won the Intercontinental Championship. So you'd think going into Mania, A, he'd have a match, and B, he'd be booked at least semi-decently. But here he lost not once but twice. So he has a match with Humberto first, I think.
No, he had Angel first. Although the announcer did say Humberto.
Yes, confused. I got confused because I read it. I'd already wrote it down.
Yeah, it was Angel first. For what it's worth.
The start of the match was really good, fast-paced action, and then it was just a roll-up distraction finish. Angel got the win. Then Ricochet was like, "No, it's not happening like that." Wants Humberto to get in the ring and have a match. And then again, some good moves and whatever. And then it was just a distraction.
It was a count out.
And a count out. Sorry. He tried the distraction. It failed.
Garza held his legs. He was trying to get back in the ring.
Yeah, as he was trying to get back in the ring, he did it. So he got rolled up and then counted out in one night, the Intercontinental Champion. And then to make matters worse, to complete the hat trick of ways to lose, he goes on to Raw and gets pinned in about 1 minute 50.
Yeah, it was a squash.
He got absolutely just squashed by Austin Theory.
Yeah, and Theory's not like, if he got squashed by Brock Lesnar, he'd be like, okay, but it's Austin Theory. I know they're pushing Theory clearly, but yeah.
Why did they put him on the show?
Well,
I get the point of having Austin Theory beat someone not strong to go into Mania.
Yeah.
But you've got Shelton Benjamin sat do it in catering, or someone that's not on the Mania card or not got a belt would be preferable, Yeah. Akira Tozawa, he was too busy proposing, but anybody really. I just don't understand why they used Ricochet for that. It was very, very odd. My skid mark is the treatment of the Intercontinental Championship, which has been poor for a long time now. Hasn't been defended on pay-per-view since last WrestleMania. Between Big E and Apollo Crews. I'm
trying to work out whether this is worse than Shinsuke never fighting. I don't. It's probably, it might be, because
I think this week it was.
Yeah, Angel and Humberto as well. The other thing you did mention is they are lower mid-card tag team wrestlers.
Yeah.
If to being generous, they don't.
Well, they're the only people left on the card that aren't in a match that are heels.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's either like Jinder Mahal and Shanky. So
I know they're going to triple threat, and I just think if you want to book Ricochet into a title match, you could have Angel or I don't care which one, Angel or Humberto just win.
Yeah, I would have had if Garza had rolled him up here, and then he'd have challenged him to a ladder match or something in the pre-show of WrestleMania, 1-on-1. I'd have been like, do you know what? Because again, you can do the Scott Hall Memorial thing, Intercontinental title, ladder match. Perfect. Do Ricochet and Garza. Doesn't have to be main eventing. It's not going to main event the show. It's two low mid-card wrestlers. But yeah, just do that. Chuck on the pre-show. Give them 15 minutes. You can have a decent match. But yeah, we're doing a triple threat, which is going to basically be a handicap match.
Yeah,
essentially.
Well, the point is they don't care about the IC titles. So.
And I don't think it's leading to Ricochet then going a match at Mania. It might surprise me. We might get some weird finish, and they might say we're going to do it again on Mania pre-show. Ricochet 1-on-1 with somebody. I don't think that's going to happen though. I think Ricochet is just not going to be on the card. And I don't think Finn Balor, we don't know, but Finn Balor probably isn't going to be either. So the mid-card titles.
Yeah, they're both in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. You might as well not have mid-card titles. They don't
merge them into one and have them across both brands so that you've got
the only time they've meant something was when Priest was defending them. That's the only time in the past year mid-card belt was meant something.
Yeah, Priest had a good run with the US title, to be fair.
He did. And okay, Balor's actually only won it recently. And he's actually fought most weeks, Balor, so maybe we're being harsh on Balor. You know, it's early days in his run, but the fact Balor v Priest is a very worthy, like main event
Demon
match
as well. Why would you not put Demon on there? Have it. I mean, we might get it. Like I say, they might. I think there's a possibility that in this battle royal, Priest and Balor are the last two. Priest eliminates Balor and like beats the crap out of him, and then we get the Demon like graphic thing come up, the lights go all funny or something, and that implies Demon versus Priest. They could set it up here. Yeah, that might be why they're in the battle royal, but I don't know. They might just be in the battle royal and that's it.
That's what I fear right now.
I fear that as well because there isn't much room left on the card. There might be room for one more match on like a pre-show match for Sunday, I think, because the pre-show match for Saturday is surely going to be a match we can get onto now. New Day and Ridge and Sheamus.
Yeah, well, that's a very good segue. We had King Woods, as he's still called, appear.
Apparently he's not now. He was last week, but apparently it's changed. I saw something today.
His entrance was King Woods. It wasn't the New Day entrance. It was all his.
I don't know if they're going to drop that. I think they're going to drop that gimmick.
I think they should. They need to either stop King of the Ring, which I'm not for, or stop making every person who wins it become king for a year, 2 years.
They're stuck with a gimmick.
Yeah, or even, and I mean, Nakamura, he just stole his crown and became King Nakamura.
Yeah.
It's also stupid. But yeah, Woods, and he beat Ridge in a roll-up in a very quick match.
Yeah, there was another criticism really from SmackDown, and particularly Raw. Raw normally has great wrestling. There was no wrestling on these shows, hardly. Yeah. It was the setup for you. I get it, because you're saving the matches for Mania. But
I think Raw was good with how they set the matches up.
Yeah, I thought the promos were really, really good on Raw.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe what
you're watching it live. And you go to watch a wrestling show and you don't get any wrestling, I think you'd be a bit pissed. I know you get dark matches, you get main event taping, you get all that, but still, we'll get onto that in a minute when we talk about Raw. But yeah, this match was over very quick, wasn't it? Kofi and Ridge. But yeah, we're getting the 2-on-2 tag. I think obviously originally we would have got the 6-man if Big E didn't get injured. And I think I would have been more excited if it was the 6-man. So I think Big E being in it makes it a more exciting match because he's been a recent WWE champion, and also we'd have got the debut of Pete Dunne on the main roster.
Yeah,
no, he's called Butch, but
I think it might have actually been. I think it was you or Crusty. One of you two mentioned it last week or the week before that you could just throw Ricochet in this match and have You could have set up Ricochet, Sheamus stacking Ricochet, and then all of a sudden Ricochet was like, okay, I'll fight in your corner now. Big E's out, and Ricochet's on the card. Okay, he's not defending the belt, but he's in a. And it wouldn't be a weird fit him with the New Day. Really.
And then they could also set up Ricochet defending the IC title against Ridge or Butch down the line, or even Sheamus winning it from him because it's the only title Sheamus has never won. So he could go after the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, then I would have preferred that because I thought the excitement in this match was butch wrestling because we've seen Ridge every week and Sheamus against New Day. We've seen it about 10 times.
This isn't the most exciting.
If Pete Dunne was wrestling, I would have been more interested in this match, but I'm not interested in it whatsoever. But it's surely going to be a pre-show.
Well, and also this is a match on Saturday, and I think Saturday has 2 or 3 tag team matches. Weirdly, they've kind of got Saturday seems to be tag.
I know the women's tag is Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, the women's tag is, but they've got Ray and Dominic. They've got the Usos v Shinsuke and Boogs, and they've got this match. So there's 3 tag team matches on the Saturday. Then there's the 2 women's title matches. It just seems like a weird, like they've not mixed up at all. They've just done Saturdays tag and women's, and then Sundays, like all the celebrity matches. And okay, actually apart from Logan Paul. But anyway, I digress. On the subject actually of celebrity matches, Sami Zayn said something which piqued my interest. He said Johnny Knoxville can expect a punishment that has never been seen before in a wrestling ring. So we know there's going to be something crazy in this match. We know that for sure.
Well, the anything goes stipulation suggests that
something mad's going to happen. Actually, this makes this match quite interesting because there's something that's going to happen.
I think this match is going to be entertaining. Like people can have a go at it because it's not a wrestler wrestling. Again, it's Johnny Knoxville, but Johnny Knoxville will pump his ass off. Sami Zayn, I think, is willing to do something nuts as well.
I think it's a perfect opponent for Johnny Knoxville. I think this is kind of, if you're bringing Johnny Knoxville in for a one-off Mania match, just a mad match, and you want like a heel opponent to like, I just think Sami Zayn's almost perfect.
A lot of the time, celebrities are hidden in tag matches. We've seen it before with Ronda and Kurt Angle when Ronda wasn't a wrestler. We've seen it with Bad Bunny. We've seen it with Logan Paul on this card.
Yeah.
Normally, they're hidden with they've got a good wrestler on their team. They do a lot of the work. They tag in at the end or whatever. But Johnny Knoxville is having a one-on-one match here, which makes me think he must be, he must have been training like crazy. He's going to do something bonkers. And like you said, I think Sami Zayn's one of the best people you could possibly work with. One of the best workers you can go with, safe pair hands. And I think he's willing to do something nuts as well. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be entertaining. I do. Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that match. And I think we're going to get the Jackass involvement. I think other people are going to come in and get involved in this match.
Yeah, no, I think you're actually. I do think you're right. I mean, I've got a few other things from SmackDown, but none of them are really noteworthy. If there's anything you wanted to mention, but
no, there was obviously the fatal 4-way women's match between Sasha, Rhea, Shayna, Zelina Vega. That match was okay.
Bank statement on Zelina.
Sasha looked good as she always does. There's no real shock there. I actually thought one thing that was actually really good. There was a Baron Corbin video package, and I'm not into this feud at all, and nothing they could do could make me care about this match. But I'll tell you what, and they ruined it on Raw, but what they did on Raw, we'll get to that. Yeah. But the video package for Corbin from when he was Paul Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
It just made me miss that character, man. Like that video package was actually really good. And yeah, I really like what they did there, but it's not going to make me interested in the match because this feud's gone on too long.
It has. I mean, didn't have a note I had, and we actually got this again on Raw, was Madcap Moss makes a joke that Corbin doesn't like.
Yeah, it's been 2 or 3 weeks of that now.
That is, again, this teasing that there's going to be a problem. And I actually said to you guys since the last pod that I actually think Madcap Moss might win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal because I think they're quite big on Madcap Moss. And I've got a feeling I think they see something face in him. I think they think he could be quite. I just think he's the guy that they're looking to push. Like there's a couple they've got at the moment. I think Boogs is obviously another one that they see a lot in him. Yeah. Theory's clearly another one, and I do think Madcap Moss is one. I think they've got an eye on. I think there's potential.
You could be right. I think he has got potential when he's wrestled.
I think he's looked really good. Yeah,
I think he's looked good. It's just the character. It's just the character with. Yeah, but
he's this character because he came in with Happy Corbin. Like I don't know much. Again, it's called Riddick Moss before. I don't know much of his, what his repertoire is in terms of how he can different characters he can portray. But I'm sure I just got got a little bit of hope for Madcap Moss, and I think again maybe this is what happens when maybe Madcap Moss turns on Corbin at Mania.
I would like to see it because they're not going to. I don't really see I don't think Corbin needs him, and I don't think he needs Corbin in a sense. I think that.
Yeah, I actually preferred Corbin's Happy Corbin character without Madcap Moss.
Yeah, I think the jokes kind of ruin it, and I'd rather Corbin not be Happy Corbin. I want him to be something else. I just want him to be Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I want to go back to Baron Corbin now as well.
And a Madcap, I think, can do something on his own. They don't wrestle as a tag team, really. They're not on a tag division. So I don't think they need to stay together. I get that it gives Corbin a guy to help him win matches and all that. But
I don't think it helps that if you're feuding with Drew McIntyre for 6 months. Like we're so bored of it now that if they're in a fresh feud, we might think differently about these two. But
it's one of those things, and it's happened a bit in the last couple of years with WrestleMania feuds where they've set up a WrestleMania match that's been done loads already, and there's no point. Yeah. I know they haven't actually done Drew and Corbin 1-on-1, but they did it last year with Big E and Apollo Crews. Must have had like 5 or 6 Intercontinental title matches.
Yeah.
And then they decided to do it again at Mania, and it's like, well, Mania matches are supposed to. You can do a rematch or whatever, but not something.
But you have to add some. The problem I have with this match actually is there's no real jeopardy. At no point has Corbin has McIntyre's number. No. Like I think it's obvious that McIntyre is going to win, unless they throw a complete curveball at Mania. Like I say, we'll get to it on Raw, but Raw is another example. Just looks so obvious McIntyre is going to win, and I just don't. We all know McIntyre's above this. We all know McIntyre's destined for top of the card. He could be main event in Mania. He's that good, but he's here, and that's fine. But yeah, just no jeopardy. Like in the storyline, they could have done something to make us think, oh, actually, Corbin and Moss might have something on McIntyre here.
Yeah,
but it's just a poor choice of a Mania match, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a SmackDown match, isn't it? I've heard a lot of people say that, but it is.
It is. If it was middle of the night on the SmackDown card, you wouldn't look twice at it. So, no. Should we move on to Raw?
Yeah, let's move on.
There's
some positives.
Yeah, and I can go straight into a top mark actually if we want to go positive. My top mark, a minute ago we mentioned about Ronda and Charlotte hasn't caught our attention in terms of the storyline. Well, I can't say the same for Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch because we've all been invested in this up until now, but I think Monday took it to that next level. I think
this is really, really good.
It is. We've seen in the past few weeks there's been Bianca's hair's been put into question. The use of the hair, and Becky Bianca cut a promo saying that Becky only managed to keep her out for a week. And then Becky come down the chair. And basically Becky got the better of her and she went to try and cut the braid off.
I love the reversal here. The counter into the KOD was great.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And we obviously ended up with Belair cutting off
Becky's hair. And
going a fair portion.
We haven't really seen Belair lose it like that. And that's what I really liked about it. Belair really went for it here. And Becky's reaction afterwards was perfect. And the crowd helped him as well because they were saying, you deserve it at her.
Yeah.
And the camera
it was
angle,
amazing.
Everything looked brilliant here.
Now this match, I said it in my prediction video. I think you probably did as well, where again, I just can't call this match. I think they can go both ways. They've set this up so well that it's on a knife edge and it's a match we are dying to see. Like, what I think would be cool to do, and I've actually predicted against this, but I've got some doubts now. I think you can have Becky beat Belair.
Yeah.
And then Belair be like, well, I'll put my hair on the line if you fight me again. And we do a heavy title match.
Yeah. I've seen people say
Belair's braid be the title, yeah.
I think I mentioned it in my video, and I think it's a perfect scenario for how if they want to continue the feud, that's how they should do it. If they're not going to continue this feud after Mania, just have Bianca win, because Bianca having another moment. Becky needs to lose that title soon, whether it be now or one pay-per-view's time. I'm fine with it either way. But I would prefer to see Bianca get her moment. I know she had a moment last year as well.
I think, is she going to win 2 big Mania matches, title matches, back to back?
Possibly not. No.
Are they that high on her? Like, that's like, Roman
I think
Reigns.
they are, because I think she's still going to win the title and have a run with it. But yeah, I think the story might actually be better, like you say, and I think they can get another match out of this. I really do.
They can't. I mean, surely they can't change every title. Some titles have to retain, surely, or just by odds. And the amount that are going to be retained, I don't think there's many that I'm going to predict to retain, or I've predicted to retain.
No.
So I think this is one they could retain, and actually it would benefit the story, which isn't easy to get into that position. Usually the best thing for the story is to change champs. That's usually the best thing for most stories when you're getting into this kind of
but I think they can wait a little bit out, play it out a little bit longer here.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with that as such.
Yeah. On a subject,
I want to say as well that Becky showed off her new look on her Instagram, and it's amazing. Like, she looks like she's gone for the Hayley Williams, Paramore style look, and it looks great, and it's so cool. Like, I think what they've made out of that is amazing. Actually,
it is. Yeah, it would be really cool. It's just to see what she looks like on how she looks on Saturday.
Yeah, I really like what they've done with it. So it's interesting, because it's always interesting when you do a hair thing. I mean, Mandy Rose had one a couple of years ago, didn't she? She had it quite short.
Yeah.
The last angle I can remember, that was the last time I can remember it in WWE with the women.
Yeah. No, it's said before, if you're Vince and you're looking at these 2 matches, and these are your 2 main event option match-wise for night 1, I just don't know how you go with Ronda and Charlotte over Becky and Bianca right now.
I think Ronda would have been promised it. Maybe.
Yeah, and I think they made their mind up a long time ago.
I think the egos of those 2, like, people, they've been told, but if they'd been promised it and then not told, they told they're not main eventing, I think that could cause a problem. Who knows? It may not main event yet, but I think it
may not. Yeah.
I think it might still.
I
would rather see Bianca and Becky main event, but then again, if you're keeping the title on Becky, I wouldn't do it as a main event, because you don't really want to close out night 1 with Becky retaining, and I think night 2 with Roman retaining. I don't think you do that. I think you need a big moment.
That's a good point. Yeah, although technically Roman would be winning the belt, or Brock, whoever wins the Sunday match, one of them's winning a belt.
I think you need to have a moment as you're closing, and whether that's like Austin coming back and winning a match would be huge. Ronda winning the title is big-ish, I don't really know what else. The only other option is this Seth Rollins match, because it's a mystery opponent. If it is Cody, you could do that.
Yeah, you could, I guess. Although the surprise in that one is the entrance rather than the finish.
Yeah, that's true. I still think the crowd would be hot for it, though. Like, you could still main event the show with it and end the show with it.
Yeah, of course you could. Yeah. So just move on to Brock and Roman, who both had, again, I've mentioned this before, I like it when 2 guys in a match this big, you don't need them. They've had so many altercations, and
crazy
Brock's destroyed everything left, right, and it's destroyed cars and brooms. Just have them both cut a promo to the crowd, not the other one interfering, and brilliant. And what I liked a lot about this, before we get into the promos themselves, is they both had what chance towards them, and they both handled it really well, I thought.
I loved Roman saying, "I'm gonna smash you all in a minute."
Yeah, I know. He was like, "I'll smash Stone Cold." But I love Brock, where he was like, yeah, what? And he was like, "Okay, enough of that now," and like, everyone shut up. It's like, you had complete control of the audience. I mean, Brock's promo did get a bit weird, where he was talking about the titles are going to get married and have a baby, and Brock will have full custody of it. It was a bit random, but
it was a bit weird. But like, I just never thought I'd hear Brock Lesnar saying that, so it kind of made me laugh.
2 titles having a baby, No, I've got for Roman Reigns' promos. He threatened to smash the crowd.
Yeah, that bit was great. I loved it.
And then he also mentioned that the match was personal to him now. It's gone beyond the belts. It's personal now. It's been personal for the whole time, really. But yeah, I just thought brilliant go home promos for this. I don't want to see them anywhere near SmackDown on Friday. I don't think we will. If you want to
I don't
promote the match, you should just show a video package.
I think I'll just do a recap package of the whole feud.
Yeah. Do not have them anywhere near.
You can even show their previous matches.
Yeah. I will actually be a bit annoyed if I hear Roman's entrance at the start of the show. So I don't want to see it.
Like you say,
that's a perfect way to close.
I think SmackDown is basically going to be people who aren't on Mania. So we're getting the Battle Royal. I think there'll be like 3 matches on the show tops. You'll get the
we might get a Ronda and Charlotte promo again because they weren't on Raw.
We might get that because they weren't on Raw. So you can do a closing angle with them. Like, I don't need another Drew Corbin promo. Like, I don't need that.
No.
Like, literally, the Battle Royal should be like nearly half the show. The Intercontinental Championship match should take up a bit of time. Do a Charlotte Ronda promo. Maybe
Kofi Kingston v Sheamus, that'd be on the show.
Maybe put a women's match on the show, on the card. Something, get Shotzi a match or something. Just do something like that, and that's it. You don't need Roman and Brock on there again. You don't. I think you're in danger of doing overkill. Then just show a video package. Same with Seth. Show Seth's thing again if you want. Like, honestly, you don't need all of these stars in the show, and most of them are not going to be there anyway, because I think a lot of the people will have already been. I don't know where the SmackDown is on Friday. Is it in? It must be in Dallas, right?
I would assume so. I don't know.
If it is in Dallas, then obviously you can have some of your stars there, but a lot of them will probably be already preparing for their match the next night, if they're on night 1 especially.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Shall I move on to my top, Mark?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
So we've already mentioned it briefly, but the Seth Rollins thing. So obviously this was done on social media before Raw and then shown on Raw. So I'd already seen it before Raw, but I watched it again because it was so good. So Seth, obviously, there was a tweet he put out saying he's got a meeting at Vince's office at 9:30 or something or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So we're clearly going to get a segment with Seth and Vince on this show, which I'm always for. And it was just a brilliantly played segment. And I mentioned last week how Kevin Owens has carried a feud on his own by doing the stuff of Stone Cold. Seth Rollins has done the same here because his opponent hasn't been revealed.
Yeah, even without an opponent, yeah.
Rollins and Owens have been so good. They were good together as a tag team. Now they've gone off on their own and they're setting up their own Mania matches without anybody else there. That's how good they are. And Rollins, his reaction to it was brilliant. Dancing on the table, Vince telling him to get his feet down.
Yeah. What I love is how it was like, Seth was like, well, I turned up at 7:30 because I'm going to be here early. And then Vince made him wait till 9. It's just like a little funny thing. That made me laugh when he said that. I
loved it. Like there was like a dinosaur type head on the wall. And
we've seen that before, haven't we? We saw, you remember when they did the Money in the Bank at the Towers? And they had that there as well. Yeah,
Seth did a great "You're fired" Vince impression as well. He was like, "I know what you're going to say. You're fired." It was great. I just really enjoyed this, and I think they've set this up nicely for Saturday. Seth asked who his opponent is. He said the opponent of my choosing. It leaves it open. I still think it's going to be Cody, but there are
it's going to be Cody. It's going to be Cody.
There's been some suggestions today, but there's still not a certainty. But I don't see who else it can be.
Yeah, my only real issue with this whole thing was the fact Vince was like, "Oh, you should have just asked me." He's had to fight everyone, and it just seems like you can't just ask for a Mania match. Surely you have to.
Yeah, but you can if you're Seth Rollins. I think that's the point of it. He's like, you're Seth freaking Rollins.
Well, I mean, there are also other plot holes to this whole Seth storyline. Like Omos is not good for an opponent for the last 3 weeks. So I could just say, "Okay, I'll fight you, Omos." Like, there you go, you're on Mania.
There are some stupid things.
There are some plot holes. Yeah, but Seth is brilliant.
This segment was great overall, and like I said, the opponent on Saturday. I hope it's Cody. Honestly, every week I really want Cody to show up on Raw. I didn't think I'd care this much. But
you're doubting it now. I'm 100% Cody Rhodes. I am not wavering for a second.
I don't know if you've seen. Well, I've shown you, but listeners may not be aware. But Seth's Twitter's been hilarious the last 24 hours.
My God,
he's been putting up just #WrestleMania and a GIF of all these different wrestlers that he could fight, and he hasn't put Cody up there, which makes me think.
Yeah.
He's not done that for a reason.
Yeah, he won't put up who he's facing up there because
surely not, because he put Shane up straight away, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. Then he put like Veer up. Then he's had some random ones. He's had Marco Stunt up there.
Yeah, that was a good one.
He's had Bailey. He's had Elias, Mustafa Ali, Scott Steiner, RVD. Bina, all these different people, and it's just great. And I think he's been great in this feud. And I really hope it's Cody, because I think that could be a great match, and I want to see it. So I think it'd be a great payoff to. This has to deliver. This payoff has to deliver, because I've really enjoyed the build up with Seth.
I think
if you got a disappointing opponent, then it'd ruin it for me.
Yeah.
It might be a skid mark of it. If it's Shane McMahon, as much as I don't mind Shane. If it was him, I'd skid mark this. Yeah, it has to be done. It has to be done.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Probably the next biggest thing to come out of Raw was the return of Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which I think has been. I think we've mentioned it. You might have mentioned it before on this pod, Fisher. But my real takeaway from this was Lashley's reaction was mad. He got a huge babyface reaction.
He did. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that is telling. That reaction is mad. And I think he was kind of turning a bit babyface towards the end of his before he got injured, because he was almost becoming too cool. You know, I think he was leaning that way, but this was almost blew me away a bit how good a reaction he got.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised. I mean, people do care about Bobby Lashley, but yeah, I was a bit surprised, because it's not like he's been gone for months and months. He's been gone for like 1 month. You know, if he'd been gone for a year and he came back,
Chamber, wasn't it? Yeah.
Then I'd think maybe. But yeah, he got a great reaction here, and I thought this segment overall was good. Omos is another one who needs a mouthpiece. He doesn't cut great promos.
No,
I liked what they did here. Lashley comes out. At first, Omos gets the better of him. He's struggling, but then Lashley does manage to knock him down. And I like the way he sold it, because he took himself down as well.
Yeah.
Like, I got you down, but I had to get down as well. Like, it took it out of him.
Well,
I actually, people have criticised that this is Lashley's match of Mania, but I actually think it's fine, because Lashley wasn't meant to be on the card. He was injured.
Yeah.
Like, he could have easily missed Mania and not been on the card at all. So for him to get put on the card last minute, and it gives Omos a genuine threat of an opponent. He's been squashing people. It gives Lashley, I think it gives Lashley a good baby face, because I don't think anyone. I think Omos is definitely the heel, and people don't really like him. The interesting part in this is MVP, and I alluded to this in my predictions, because Omos, I feel like, needs a mouthpiece. Is there a possibility MVP turns on Lashley?
Yeah, I've heard this.
As this new sort of monster.
That would be cool, but I would like MVP to be a mouthpiece for Omos. But Omos needs it.
I wouldn't even mind it if they have a match. There's no turn, but like Omos MVP kind of recruits him afterwards, and they form like a new Hurt Business with Lashley and Omos as like a big destruction crew.
Yeah,
like, even that would be cool. I think Omos needs something. I think he needs him on his own. Just not. He can't really cut promos. He's not an amazing worker in the ring.
No.
So I think him being hidden in a faction, like his stuff with AJ was okay, because AJ is, excuse the pun, but phenomenal. So he can carry anybody. But if he had a really good talker with him, like an MVP, and then someone with him like Lashley who's taken him under his wing, that could really work for me. So I wouldn't mind that leading to this. Like, I honestly wouldn't mind it leading to that. I hope it's not just one of them wins, then we get another match at Backlash. There's no turns, there's no interest. It's just that.
Yeah.
That's my fear, because I think it could be that. But
yeah, I wonder if they thought that far ahead, to be honest with you, considering how late in the day this match has come about.
Yeah, they probably haven't.
Well, do you say that? Omos has been asking for an opponent for a couple of weeks. So surely they had Lashley in mind a couple of weeks ago when
I heard it.
Started asking.
I heard it at least 2 weeks ago.
This probably wasn't decided, last minute as we think potentially. But yeah, this is great. I mean, the one thing I will say is this is how you show how big Omos is, because my God, he
looked huge next to him, didn't he?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, Lashley looks tiny. And I've never said that before. No. Lashley against Brock, I would never say that.
Absolutely massive man.
Yeah.
And Omos towered over him.
I want to see Omos next to Brock and be like, Brock looks small.
It made me actually more into Omos.
Yeah.
In a way, because
this was the first time I was like, Omos is like, there's a reason they're into him, and it's because he's just huge. I mean, he did have a match on the show against the Viking Raiders.
That was another terrible. Why bring the Viking Raiders over?
He had a clothesline and he went up the ring and couldn't continue.
Yeah, this was
off a clothesline. Shocking.
And when we were talking about
Viking Raiders, God,
the wrestling on this show was just secondary. It was there to set up angles. Yeah. It was there to set up Lashley's return.
The Viking Raiders match was come over from SmackDown to take a clothesline and can't continue in a match. Like,
I feel bad for them.
They were feuding with the Usos a couple of weeks back. No, it's just poor guys. But again, they don't care about the Viking Raiders.
There's literally other tag teams on Raw that they could have used. Why are they bringing the Viking Raiders in from SmackDown just to do that?
Would have actually made a bit of sense to have Seth, Shelton and Cedric, considering the Lashley connection.
It would have done. It would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, it was nonsense. And yeah, the lack of wrestling on the show was definitely a down point. Even though the setups and the promos I thought were really good on the whole on this show. Another poor match we got as well was Miz and Rey Mysterio. Why are you booking this? You're doing a tag match at Mania. Just do a segment. If you want to do a segment, do a segment. Don't do a match and then do an angle from it. But yeah, Ray gets his mask back. There's a double 619 and splash.
That's actually a shame. I don't want him to get his mask back.
Yeah, I would have waited till Mania. Like,
I'd have also waited for Logan Paul wearing it for Mania. That'd have been quite a cool entrance. Logan Paul coming out with the mask at Mania.
I'd have preferred that. It'd been like, sorry, I didn't bring it with me this week, but I'm going to wear it to.
Yeah. Or if they have to do a mask stealing, do it on the go home before Mania. Don't do it the show before the go home to then do this.
Yeah, they should have done last week's angle this week.
Because you know what, I did kind of pop for Lucha Logan. I didn't think I would, but I quite liked it.
Yeah, I actually thought it was quite cool as well. And calling him Lucha Logan. Miz called him Lucha Logan. It made me laugh for some reason. But yeah, I actually kind of liked it. I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah, but
again, it's just silly, pointless setup. And I don't know why they even bothered announcing these matches. Again, you had, like I say, you had Drew versus Corbin and Moss. That's just ridiculous.
Stupid match to book. I mean, Corbin ran away, so we've just got Drew v Moss again, which we've seen.
They literally did a lockup. He tagged out, and then
we've seen Drew v Moss on at least two pay-per-views, and they've
at least 3 or 4 times on SmackDown.
Must have fought on SmackDown as well, yeah. So, stupid. Oh, but what did happen actually is Corbin left with Angela.
Yeah, I did put in my notes actually. It does. You mentioned earlier Corbin's never had the last laugh or got the upper hand. He did actually end this segment on top for once. He took the sword. He hit him at the end of days and took the sword. So at least it gave it a little bit of heat going into the pay-per-view, but it's way too late for that. Way too late. Plus, he's stolen the sword before, so it's not a new angle.
Yeah, exactly. They've already done this sword stealing, so yeah.
So it wasn't really interesting, but at least it was something. If Drew had just claimed both of them and stood tall again, I'd have been like, why is this match happening? But yeah.
Yep. Another match which I was surprised they booked was Usos v RK Bro.
This was tag champs against each other. Match on the show, really.
And also, this was the main event, which I think is a weird way to close out the show.
Absolutely agree with
the tag division. Like the
wasn't high. I was expecting a high angle. I really thought Seth, because Seth didn't actually come to the ring. Yeah. I thought maybe after the match, Seth was going to come down and be like, "I want to know my opponent now," or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that, and we were going to get the reveal, or maybe Brock was going to come back down and Roman, and they were going to have a fight, or some more words, or something. But it was just.
I think they'd have been better off doing that with Seth and ending the show with some I know this. It's just a random opponent, but if they'd have showed someone leaving Vince's office and then you had people on Twitter taking screen grabs of the back of someone's head and being like, oh, who's this? And loads of theories, which we'll get to later, but NXT had that with the Creed brothers. We've seen that. We've seen some pictures of people. So I think that would have been really cool. And I'd have had people talking up until Mania, but they kind of, left the go home show a bit cold. Especially as it was a really, really predictable outcome where just all the tag teams that they're fighting come down
Alpha Academy didn't get involved weirdly, but Boogs and Nakamura were there.
They announced in the week that it was going to be Alpha Academy v the Street Profits was going to be on Raw.
Yeah, they changed.
So I wonder if something happened to Alpha Academy. One of them.
I don't think it did.
Ill
I
or
think
injured
because they also announced a ridiculous tag match. I'm glad it didn't happen, but they changed. I heard a lot of plans changed for this show. So literally on Twitter the day before, they had announced Becky and Ronda or something versus Charlotte and Belair or something. No,
Jesus.
Becky and
Charlotte.
Becky and Charlotte versus Ronda and Belair.
Yeah,
that was it. The four women in the two men. That's a ridiculous. Don't do that. Don't waste that match. And then Ronda tweeted something like, "This is news to me. As far as I know, I'm not going to Raw." And then it disappeared. So and that Alpha Academy match was also there. So they obviously changed a lot of the matches, which is why we didn't get any wrestling on this show, I guess. This match was actually okay. No,
it was, and it's always going to be okay with these four people.
And obviously, it was obvious we're going to get a DQ
match
finish as well.
Stupid match. What? Why have your tag champs going against each other?
The timing of this, they definitely mistimed the finish, because they did the DQ angle. They hit the double RKO, and then Randy Orton looked and was like, "Should we do another one?" And the crowd were like, "Yeah." And then they did another one, and I think they must have had like a minute left of the broadcast, because Randy Orton just was like, "Shit, we better do another one." That's what it felt like. I don't know, but it felt like that was, they finished it slightly early.
We did get another kind of window into the heel Street Profits future, which I think we're going to get, which is I'm kind of for. It's such a gear change for them, and I quite like it.
I'm glad that they're going this route.
That's something to look at, and I actually think the feud we get after Mania is Street Profits and RK Bro.
Yeah, well, I've predicted
a heel Street Profits.
My predictions is I've gone for the RK Bro to retain. I think I
think I did as well.
I think they'll probably pin Gable, and then Street Profits will get another chance and as heels, turn heel and be as heels.
Yeah,
that's what I think is going to happen.
Yep. No, I think you're actually right there. Veer Mahan's arriving April 4th. Next week. We have got less than.
Who do you think he's going to face?
Are we more excited for Mania or Veer Mahan's debut? Because it's this close one.
Do you know what? They should have combined the two. They should have just debuted him on Mania. They should have debuted him on Mania.
Yeah, seriously. We're gonna. Well, it's still might. Seth's opponent's not been announced. If we're gonna do review shows for WrestleMania, obviously, but maybe we should do a review show for Veer Mahan's debut. Just nothing else. Just an hour on Veer Mahan. Which I reckon we could.
A couple of other things from Raw. We had a couple of engagements, didn't we?
Oh, fuck no. Yeah, we did.
I was waiting for your reaction to that.
We did. And I'm going to get into a skid mark later on, but this is on a similar theme. It's just ridiculous stuff that doesn't need to happen.
We're going to get a double wedding.
Reggie, Dana Brooke, I can kind of Reggie's fancied her and they've kissed.
To Tozawa. I really liken Tozawa at the moment. I don't know why.
It's funny.
In his suit, just and I don't know. Reggie and Dana have actually become a bit boring for me. I'm actually more into Tamina and Tozawa.
At least their proposal makes sense, because Reggie's fancied Dana Brooke for ages and she's finally come round to him.
Yeah.
Whereas Tozawa and Tamina is just stupid. It's just stupid. That's all it is.
Stupid, but I don't know. It's just nonsense. But we're obviously going to get a double wedding soon. And what was the only interesting thing I noticed about this segment was we haven't seen him in a while, but R-Truth was back watching this. And I think we're going to get a double wedding angle, and R-Truth's going to win the title at the wedding and ruin it all for
didn't R-Truth say that
he's got an idea or something?
I thought I got the impression that he said he was going to marry them. He was going to be the
Oh yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's what he's going to do, but I got a feeling he's going to, because his those two might be in love. His love is the 24/7 title, so he's going to go to try and get it back.
Well, so what I actually thought, because obviously the Tamina and Tozawa walked off, and then it showed, and he was next to the referee, and I thought if R-Truth proposes to this referee, I'm gonna lose my mind. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Oh,
they were all proposing.
That would have been. I mean, it was already too much, but that would have been another level.
I honestly thought R-Truth's going to propose to the referee here.
KO's promo was worth mentioning, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually the only notes I've got is he just continues to mock Stone Cold.
I
don't think anything extra from this promo, but just
no. But he kept calling him Steve. He said, Stone Cold isn't a thing anymore. You're just Steve now.
Yeah,
and he kind of threatened him and said, I just want to have a chat. We'll have a toast. And if you try anything, then you'll be on the receiving end of the stunner. It was a good promo. It wasn't as masterful as the situation last week.
Yeah, again, I feel like they couldn't
top that.
I feel like they could have swapped these two promos around and had his one last week on this week's show, and that would have been to go home. Him pretending to be something could have been quite cool. We also got Edge and AJ with promos.
Yeah, the Edge one was a great callback to his Judgment Day.
Yeah,
from like 2008 or something. That was cool. They were nothing special though. They were just okay.
Yeah, and I think Edge said again, because I think I actually wrote this out after the fact. I think he said that he mentioned that like he could have helped Seth win last week because he still got something to prove with Seth, but he was like, but it had to be you, AJ. It had to be you at Mania.
Yeah,
and yeah, AJ's.
I think the only other thing on the show was an 8-woman tag, which was
they're just fun all these. They'll probably do another weird variation of that on Sunday or on Friday. Sorry.
And so Liv and Rhea won, didn't they? Rhea getting the pin here.
Well, it was Liv, Rhea, Sasha, and Naomi.
Yeah, but I mean, sorry, yeah. So Rhea got the pin.
Rhea riptide on Carmella for the win.
Yeah. And they always just get pinned.
Carmella and Queen Zelina both got pinned this week.
Yeah, they get pinned every week. It's literally their job.
Yeah, I know. It is, yeah.
Just take pins.
All right, let's move on to NXT.
Yep.
I think that is the obvious next step. And I think I'll start with the main event because this was the one question mark leading into Stand and Deliver was the last participant in the ladder match. We had Roderick Strong, Cameron Grimes, and A-Kid in a triple threat. And I think we said last week, I said that I think Cameron Grimes was the obvious winner here.
Yeah,
I think there was a chance for A-Kid.
Yeah, I actually thought he might not purely for the storyline, but I still think maybe they could do that and him not win the title still does the same thing. So
yeah, but yeah, and Grimes with the cave in on Strong, and then it all ended.
It's a really good match. This.
And what I quite liked is we had all the participants in like random different bits of the arena.
Yeah,
like Grayson Waller was in with to chase you lot randomly, and it was just quite a cool visual. But yeah, I think Cameron Grimes is the right person, and if you see my predictions, I think he's going to win the North American title.
Yeah, I was torn. I was thinking, well, there's either one way you can either go with Grimes getting the redemption and that story being a feel-good story, or you can have it fuel him to maybe like turn heel or go crazy.
Yeah,
I for some reason have a feeling they're going down that route rather than him actually winning it.
There's a chance that he could turn heel in this match and do something mad and despicable to win then climb the ladder and win the belt.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, Carmelo Hayes could retain this. It's a hard one to call.
I've seen quite a few people saying that they think Carmelo.
Well, I think it's because there's no obvious winner
person to win it. Yeah, and then what does Carmelo do as well? Because I mean, he could easily go and challenge for the top title.
Yeah, I actually think you want people like Carmelo, Grayson Waller free for the top title if Breakker wins.
I for some reason went Solo Sikoa to win this match. I
did too. I was interested
by
that.
I didn't even have a reason, honestly. I was just like, I'm just going to go for someone on a whim.
Yeah.
I wanted to go for a title change, and I didn't want to go for Cameron Grimes. And I was like, it's not going to be Santos. Grayson Waller doesn't need it, in my opinion. And I was just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
why not?
I almost, whoever wins that title, I'm going to be quite happy with, I think.
Yeah.
But
the main event was good though, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good match. Yeah, and again, A-Kid didn't really get an entrance. Just a random thing that keeps happening every week. I don't know why. They don't show his entrance, but they just won't. I want to talk about Tommaso Ciampa. He cut his
I love this promo.
His promo backstage, talking for all the pain he suffered in NXT, all the pain he suffered in his life. So NXT has been one constant throughout. And then obviously he ended it with, usually he just throws his chair to the ground.
Yeah.
But he carefully folds it up and it has the almost like a gravestone, the first match and last match.
Yeah, the dates of his first and last match in NXT. I thought this was a really, really good touch and a great promo.
Yeah, and I think we did actually get Tony D'Angelo promo on the show as well, but I don't think there's anything special. Well, yeah, he said he'll become the new Don of NXT, but I think he said that before. But yeah, I think again, I don't think you need these two these two haven't really got too physical. I think there was like a Tony D'Angelo hit him when he did that
shook hands. Emotional promo, yeah.
But yeah, just
to set the match up in the first place.
And again, there's not much of a feud here. It's just this is just a way to send Ciampa out. Interesting if surely D'Angelo. I think we both looked at D'Angelo to win, but I think Ciampa will put him over on his way out. Although Pete Dunne did beat Tony D'Angelo, so who knows?
Yeah, it was odd when Pete Dunne beat him, but I do think D'Angelo's winning here.
Yeah, surely.
I think maybe the Dunne wasn't call up wasn't planned quite yet. Maybe they were thinking it'll be after Mania, and then there was a sudden change. Like, no, you're going up now.
Yeah.
After he'd already beaten, I think that may have happened there. And then they thought, well, now we've got to put Tony against someone else to beat them. Ciampa.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
I think something like that may have happened there.
Yeah, we got, speaking of good video promo segments, we got Dolph Ziggler had a really good video. I really like this. Yeah. Playing the heel character to perfection here. Just, I'm too good for this. And he was like, I'm doing all the media because no one knows who Bron Breakker is, and just such a like. Oh, if you didn't want Ziggler to lose before this, you do after it, because he just was so heel and just such a good job. And he was like, he said that he's in his zone. He's done Mania a few times now, and whereas Breaker's just
16 times.
Yeah.
Well,
Breaker's just excited to be a part of Mania weekend, and
he went for they showed little clips of Ziggler winning like titles and money in the bank,
this was really good.
Yeah,
and I've been so high on Ziggler's NXT run. I think it's great. I almost don't want him to leave NXT, but
no, I think it's inevitable that he's going back to the main roster. You can't. The problem is, once he loses the title, there's no point in keeping him there.
We all got a Bron Breakker promo as well in video in return.
A sort of a return. And
he actually mentioned, I think he mentioned it here, that Rick Steiner's his father, which I don't think he's mentioned on air before, but he mentioned it. I think
they should just change his name now. Now the Steiners are going to the Hall of Fame, just change his name.
Yeah.
Honestly, just do it.
And he also said he's going to take back the title for everyone that chants NXT, which is interesting. So it's kind of been built as NXT v big time match, isn't it? Breaker.
Yeah, the young up and comer who's not had this big moment against a guy who's been around for 16.
I will say this video from Breaker made me feel like there's no way they can't have him win now. Like, I just feel like they set it up where I just feel like if Breaker lost, it'd be such a.
I think he's got
such a surprise now. Yeah,
I think he's got to win.
Yeah, I do, and I think there's a lot of good heel people to put him against. Waller and
obviously Carmelo loses. I think Carmelo, and I think the obvious one as well,
and Gunther.
Gunther is the obvious. He should be the next champion, really. If you're not putting a belt on him soon, there's something wrong, because he's a guy who wins titles. That's what he is.
Exactly. Well, we got Gunther in the opening match of the night.
Yeah.
The 6-man against LA Knight and MSK, which I quite liked. LA Knight just attacking Gunther before the match even started, and making me really excited about this match. I mean, we all know Gunther's going to beat LA Knight. Like, I don't think it's any surprise anyone who thinks otherwise. But yeah, I'm really into this. And they kind of fought into the crowd. And then it was just basically Imperium v LA Knight. Eichner got the pin for the win. And then we had Creed Brothers come out after the match as well. They're the third team.
It was a fun opener. Six-man tags are always a fun way to start a show.
Yeah. So you might have already heard this, because I know you're all over social media, but I heard this actually on a podcast earlier about the Creed Brothers attackers. Have you heard any rumors on who it might be?
No.
So I've heard a rumor from one podcast.
Yeah, go for it. Tell me.
And so, and apparently they're like, someone like looked into the video clips, and this is what I mean. I quite like this kind of speculating. And
everyone worked out stuff
but everyone's like looked at the video clips, and apparently they reckon it could be Pretty Deadly from NXT UK.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I did see someone. Thing is, I haven't seen anything about that, but I did see someone mention him coming to NXT.
Apparently, one of the texts, because Creed Brothers got some texts on the show, didn't they? I can't remember what they said, but one of them was like, you'll enjoy the view or something. But like, if they'd have said like Boise's or whatever, you'd know it was them. But like, yeah, I think they I like that. It could be an interesting team.
I did say last week, I think
it
could be a new team because I was trying to work out who it was.
Yeah.
And I know I said it could be Briggs and Jensen if it's anybody, but like it's not. It can't be any of the teams in the match, surely, because it's going to be a team.
Yeah.
So it's not MSK and it's not Imperium. Like it could be grizzled young veterans, but why would it be? Like it's not jacket time, surely. Like you're running out of teams there.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of it being.
What do you reckon? Pretty Deadly. I think would be quite a cool one.
I think they fit in well in NXT 2.0 as well.
Yeah, I think they're perfect team.
That's interesting. I like the sound of that being them.
Yeah, that's what I want now. Now I've heard that, I was like, yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So if anyone who's not watched NXT UK, I think you'd enjoy them. They're really good in ring. They actually remind me a bit style wise of Private Party. That's who they remind me of in terms of their wrestling style. Just for anyone who doesn't know them. What else did we get? We got Io Shirai and Kaylee Ray with a promo.
Yeah.
About the best woman's gonna win.
There's a friendly like rivalry between the two, isn't it? Which obviously is going to come undone a bit in the pay-per-view. Yeah,
well, we also got a good Cora Jade video, actually, not a pretty good one, saying that she enjoys being the underdog. And she's always been the underdog with this kind of thing. The only thing is, though, she didn't really seem that upset that two people just added themselves to the match. Like she didn't really seem to mention that.
I saw that
weird.
She did tweet something about it, but there's not been anything on TV. So yeah, because she said she's like, oh, it doesn't matter or something. I don't really care or whatever. But yeah, I mean, she should really be. Her character should be pissed off.
Yeah, definitely. And then the fourth of this match at Stand and Deliver, Mandy Rose with Toxic Attraction cut a promo in the ring.
They revealed they for some reason attacked Wendy Chu.
Yeah, but that's in, get on to something.
Yeah,
happened. They attacked Wendy Chu, and then Dakota come down, and then we got the unexpected reunion. Raquel and Dakota. Which I like
that they did the reunion. But for them, for the tag titles, when we just had a Dusty Classic, which was won by different people who were going for the singles title.
Yeah, well, again,
booking.
What's happened here? The two Dusty Cup matches, the losers in the final have got tag team title matches. So MSK lost the final; they're in the title match. And Wendy Chu, but Dakota Kai, she lost the final. Now she's in a tag team title match. Whereas the team that won
and Dakota and Raquel didn't even get to that stage.
No, she went out earlier, semi, I think. But yeah, interesting. I mean, and again, the match is on the pre-show against Toxic Attraction, the tag team title match.
Yeah,
I just don't think you'll have a title change on the pre-show, so I just don't see.
No, my first initial reaction was, oh, they're going to win. Like when they reunite, I was like, oh, they're going to win. Then I realized it's like, actually, it makes no sense for them to win.
No, it just makes. What happens to Wendy Chu? Yeah,
what happens to Wendy Chu? What happens if they fall out again? Like you're not going to do the whole feud again. So there's no real point. And also it being on a pre-show. So I was like, yeah, no, just keep the titles on Toxic.
Do you reckon they could move them up? Raquel and Dakota?
I mean, Dakota's been meant to be moving up for ages.
Could they move them up as a tag team to the main roster? They've had a reuniting, and then Wendy Chu's left on her own in NXT. That could be the reason they did that. They could reunite them to then move them up after Stand and Deliver.
I'd be a bit honestly, I'd be a bit worried about Dakota Kai on the main roster. I don't know why, because she's great, but I just feel like they would like Toni Storm her a bit, like just not really.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, they'll give her a chance. I think they'd use her a bit, or even I don't think they'd Shotzi her necessarily, or Aaliyah. Like,
God, I think
I just don't really see her fitting in that well. I don't know why. Raquel, I think, would be good on the main roster because she's got the size and that kind of profile. I think she could be like what Rhea is, like similar to that.
Yeah, no, fair enough. We got. I'm just looking for everyone. There's no real particular order to this. We got Legado del Fantasma against Briggs and Jensen. And actually, Briggs and Jensen got the win here.
I was impressed with him here. The most I've been like impressed with him in ring in a while.
I
thought, Josh Briggs looked really good in this match. That was my main note.
Well, Briggs, I've got one spot in particular was Joaquin Wilde did a 450 splash off the turnbuckle, and he caught him by the throat, and I thought it was brilliant.
It was a really good spot and
really cool spot.
I thought he looked really cool in this match. I was like, oh, if they had a little bit more of like an edgy, because their characters are kind of silly and lighthearted. If you gave him more of an edgy gimmick, he would be really good, I think. Josh Briggs.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have much else from the show.
Well, there's Von Wagner versus Bodie Hayward. Jackie Time randomly had a commentary table at the side, which was enough.
Yeah. I think
the match was okay, but the main real interest in this was the woman stood at ringside that we saw last week. Robert Stone is interested. She was staring at Von Wagner. They were staring at each other at the end. They did give her name, but I can't remember it.
No, I didn't write a name down.
But I'm sure that's going somewhere. But yeah, Von Wagner, Robert Stone. I mean, it's just okay, isn't it? It's not terrible, but it's not particularly interesting.
Von Wagner, God, he's from being the guy in the NXT title match from the first NXT 2.0. He's of all the new guys they've brought in, he's one has not worked yet. Von Wagner, for me. I think he looks better with Robert Stone next to him, which I've ever said before, because Robert Stone's generally terrible, but yeah, not great. You've got Joe Gacy against Draco Anthony. Gacy won.
Not interested in that feud at all.
Yep, nothing.
I don't like the Joe Gacy character. Against him as a performer, I think he's good at it, but
yeah, we got Nikita Lyons again, beat Sloane Jacobs.
Big fan of Nikita Lyons.
Bit of a squash win. And then Lash Legend said they'll go again after Stand and Deliver.
That's the thing. I really like Nikita Lyons. I think she's got a great entrance, a great moveset, everything. Her look, everything she does. And then putting her against Lash Legend just kills it for me, because I'm really not interested in Lash Legend, unfortunately.
I know.
But hopefully she just beats her and moves on to something else, because I think she's got real potential.
Yeah.
And talking of real potential in the women's division, I think Ivy Nile is in that boat as well.
She got a win,
So she got a win over Tiffany Stratton. Match was just okay. It was a bit silliness with Sarai coming out of the smoke. Yeah. And then just a distraction into a submission, and Tiffany tapped out.
Yeah, very predictable how that match was going to go when I saw that match was announced.
Very predictable.
Should we move on to AEW?
I thought you had something from NXT that
was I did. Yeah, I did. And if it was skip mark, thank you. Yeah, so I referenced it earlier when I spoke about the proposal city on Raw, 24/7 title. But I think that is actually not quite as bad as this. This Indy Hartwell, Persia Pirotta friendly rivalry over who's the cuter couple just is not for wrestling TV. It's just not. It shouldn't be on this TV show. It's terrible. And what's annoying is I thought they're going to lead to a mixed tag. They're going to be like some wrestling. No, they're having a who's hottest competition,
and that's going to happen at the pay-per-view
on Stand and Deliver.
That's what's going to be annoying. We're going to
give us a mixed tag match. God's sake.
Even that wouldn't be great, but it'd be better than what we're going to get. What's annoying is I think Stand and Deliver is going to have some great wrestling, like some great matches, and we're just going to get this nonsense segment in the middle of it somewhere.
Yeah, it's just so stupid,
and it's going to bring the show down a little bit.
I've said so many times, I'm such a big fan of Indy Hartwell. I really like everything about her, but this is...
I really like Persia as a wrestler. I think she's really impressive.
Yeah.
When she's been in the ring, I think she's been really good.
And I actually think even with the kind of the two couples against each other, they could do a lot better than what they're doing. This whole who's hotter contest or whatever they're doing is just shocking. Absolutely shocking. If you know, this is sort of thing you see on Love Island. Not even, I don't think even Love Island would go to this level. By the way,
it's poor. Yeah, I'm not. It's not interesting at all.
Shocking.
At least the thing is with the 24/7 title stuff. It's like it's funny and it's low card and it's at least got some humor to it and it's meant to be silly. This is like, it feels like it's not meant to be that.
Yeah,
it feels like this is more like it's getting on the pay-per-view card. It's getting like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, really is.
And it's not fun. The thing is, it's not funny. It's just cringy. It's just like loads of like stupid making out and my man's better than your man. Whereas the 24/7 stuff, although it's silly, at least it's got some comedic value to it.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's good, but it's better for me. It's better than the NXT stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think the combination of both of these happening at the same time is worrying.
At least it's not both on the same show. That'd make it even worse. But
that's true. Should go on to AEW then.
Yeah, I think that's it for.
I mean, is there anything you wanted to pull out of Rampage?
Yeah, I'll have a quick look. So we got Dustin Rhodes in action for the first time in a little while. I haven't seen him wrestle in ages.
And he won.
Yeah, against Lance Archer, who, again, I also haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, with a roll-up after exposing the turnbuckle. Archer exposed the turnbuckle, pushed him into it, rolled him up.
It was okay. The match itself was good.
Yeah, Archer destroyed him and put him through the table after the match as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, the what made the finish okay was the after angle where Archer absolutely just destroyed him and chokeslam.
I still don't get why Dan Lambert's with Archer, by the way. Makes no sense.
Well, I don't get why that's a thing. He's with
so
Page, Van Zandt, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky. That makes total sense.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to be with Lance Archer as well. He doesn't.
I don't think they ever really explained why he's with them either. He's just there 1 week. Yeah, don't really get that. What else do I?
Red Dragon had a match that was decent enough. Then they stole they managed to steal all the belts, which set up Dynamite, the angle on Dynamite. The Undisputed Elite, as they're now officially called.
Yeah, that's quite a cool name.
Quite good. Quite predictable thing. You know, it's combining their NXT name with the Elite.
Yeah.
But it suits what it is. It's fine.
And it's still UE as well. And the main event of Rampage was a swerve against Ricky Starks, which Starks retained his FTW belt with a Rochambeau.
Yeah, good match again.
After Hobbs' interference, then we got Keith Lee and Hobbs.
That's happening Friday, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, which is no, it's on Friday. Yeah, but we had that interest. Keith Lee always has these spots where they had like a big Texas loves Ricky Starks sign, and then Keith Lee threw someone through it or something. And just a funny one. And also, I thought we should mention Hook, shouldn't we? It's Rampage.
How can we go with a Rampage show that? Oh, I deserve to be cursed by Danhausen after that.
Well, he got a certificate of accomplishment from QT Marshall, but just broke it on Aaron Solo's back and walked out. Yeah, Danhausen cursed him, and Hook just
sold it completely, which I love.
Amazing, yeah.
I'm a bit already thinking, what is the point of Danhausen really? I
thought that he'd wrestle, but
he doesn't. He
just curses people, and it doesn't. Nothing he does means.
I want to see him actually do something relevant.
Yeah,
it's funny for
I've not seen him wrestle, but
him being with Hook, that's like a good little segment. I get it, but I want to see a bit more of what he can actually do, because if that is literally going to be it, then I'm going to be a bit bored of it, I think.
Yeah, I'm already bored of the Kirsten thing, I think. It's only been 3 or 4, but I'm already a bit bored of it. This was the best one by far, because Hook was on the receiving end. Should we move on to Dynamite?
Yeah, let's start with the opening match. Max Caster and Punk. I just knew Max Caster was going to fit Will Smith into his rap. Everyone was.
100%.
What's he going to say here? And he did a decent little rap as usual. What I loved was Punk's. Punk was just laughing. He was actually properly laughing at it, which I really liked. And the match itself was pretty good. It wasn't like a classic. It wasn't. I mean, Punk had a brilliant match last week with Dax Harwood, didn't he?
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as that, but it was still pretty good. And then Punk won with hitting a pile driver and an Anaconda Vice. And
quite a cool finish. Yeah.
No GTS. So it was interesting. And then what was really interesting was his promo afterwards. We touched on it last week when we said that we think maybe he's going to go after the title, and he made himself very clear here that that's what he wants. So I think we're going to get Cole and Hangman very soon. They can't drag that out too much longer, really, with Cole stealing the title and everything. And so I think as soon as that match is finished, you're going to see Punk go for the AEW title.
Yeah, you are. The other thing I kind of worry a bit about potential Punk Hangman Page match, because no one's going to want Hangman to win, are they, against CM Punk? I just feel like That's.
Yeah.
I mean, Hangman Page's run, I think, has been poor. Personally, I think it's not been a good run, and I think it's just another.
But maybe that's fine, and maybe it's fine then if no one wanted to win, because
and actually
you can put the title on Punk.
Yeah, well, I think maybe, and I just think actually the reason it's been poor is not even his. I think it's just the booking.
No, it's not been him.
The booking
I just think the feuds haven't been particularly interesting.
Him and Danielson was okay, but then throw him into a cold match with Archer, then to rush this cold stuff, and when people actually probably prefer cold to Hang, it's just not worked. And then put him against. You need him against like an MJF or something. You need him against someone that he can definitely get, the crowd are going to want him to win against. But yeah, I worry about Punk against him, but I want Punk to be champion. So
I think he deserves at least one little run before, because he mentioned it, before he retires. So he's going to be around for a while, I'm sure, but he's not got loads and loads of years left in him. And I think it's better for him to have it sooner rather than later, before people don't want to see him have the title, because there's loads of new people come in that you'd rather see pushed, that young people that haven't got the titles yet, like the likes of MJF, Jungle Boy, and other people, Darby Allin, etc.
Yeah.
So I think it makes sense if Punk's going to have a run, he should have it soon. I don't think he should be waiting another year or two to have a title run. I think he needs it now. I felt the same when Edge returned in WWE. I think if Edge was going to have a title run, he should have had it by now, and he hasn't. So now I don't necessarily see him winning the title. I think Punk's he's not quite at that point because he hasn't been that long, but he's approaching that point where you've got to do it soon, I think.
Yeah.
And like you say, I don't think the run's been great. So I think him winning it and then maybe MJF or something beating him for the title would be perfect. Like Punk winning it off Page, and then MJF and Punk coming back together to have that third match, and MJF winning it or something like that down the line.
Yeah, would be good, wouldn't it?
Would be perfect, long term.
Yeah.
Story.
Well, let's talk about MJF, and I kind of also want to talk about FTR a bit, because
they were the stars of this show for me.
They were the best thing about the show, in my opinion. They were so it started with the interview backstage. We had Mark Sterling. I don't know why he's with MJF, but fine. He was putting up pictures of Wardlow, and interestingly, MJF was talking about Wardlow as he does, and FTR were like, well, actually, we're friends with Wardlow still, so we're not that comfortable. And MJF was like, oh, but he used to talk shit about you.
Yeah, he's trying to stir the pot.
Yeah, quite funny.
FTR weren't really buying it, I don't think.
No, then they faced Gun Club, FTR, and we had Wardlow then arrive backstage, walk down to the ring, try and get through, security stop him, and put him out. And FTR still got it. I thought they might lose at that point, but they got the big rig. Sorry. Yeah. Won the match.
Yeah, they also got to take Billy Gunn got involved, didn't he, in this match? Tried to take him out as well. They had quite a lot of stuff going against them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they still managed. I mean, the Gun Club, I know I think they're the number one ranked tag team for some reason.
Yeah, it's because they win every match on Dark. Yeah.
They don't feel important. I mean, FTR should be beating them every single day of the week.
Exactly. But MJF then come down to celebrate with them, and they were pushing him. They kind of weren't happy with MJF at all. And then we got them backstage later on saying they want to face the Young Bucks again to see the best tag team is. So
yeah, I don't know if I want to see that again, to be honest.
And they want to be Ring of Honor World Tag Team.
Yeah, they've got
a match on Friday.
Supercard against the Briscoes. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. I actually think there's probably more. Although it is booked now by Tony Khan, maybe it'd be quite cool if they were coming out with all these belts, FTR.
Yeah. They mentioned they've already got it's the AAA, I think.
Yeah, they've had that for ages, haven't they?
They've got the Ring of Honor, and then they said they want to be the AEW again. So I don't think they will be the AEW again, but yeah, for them to go for it would be cool. They win the ROH ones, which I think they will, and then they'll have two lots, and then I don't think they'll win the third lot, but for them, they should at least have a shot to make it a story. But yeah, and then they had promos throughout the night and stuff. FTR, they were really interested in this show. They had something else later on, didn't they?
Love.
They did.
After the challenge in the Young Bucks, I didn't have anything after that.
Oh, maybe that was what I was thinking of then.
But they were on 3 segments throughout the night, though.
Yeah, they felt like the stars of the show here.
Yeah, and I'd love to see it. Love them.
Yeah.
Love them so much. And again, there's still the Bret Hart hanging over them. Is he gonna
be
their manager?
They didn't really mention that.
We didn't get much clues on that in this show, but yeah, I think that is going to happen.
Yeah.
we got we actually got Moxley and Danielson in separate matches.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And interestingly, Regal was in Danielson's corner, but not Moxley's. Which...
Yeah, I think they just didn't want him on commentary twice. I think
that's probably why. Just interested that he said that Danielson was a perfect wrestler, didn't really praise Moxley too much, but probably reading too much into that. Yeah. But actually, Moxley v Jay Lethal, I thought was the best match of the whole week in wrestling. I know we mentioned, I know we mentioned there wasn't much wrestling on Raw and SmackDown, but I think
there was not a lot on Raw and SmackDown.
I think this was a really, really good match, personally.
Yeah, it was pretty
very
good.
Impressive, Jay Lethal.
I thought Brian and Wheeler Yuta was good as well, by the way.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I thought it was Wheeler Yuta is impressing a lot more now. He's sort of on his own doing this stuff. I think he's a lot more interesting for me.
But we got an interesting spot in this match. Well, not really a spot, but Jay Lethal went to shake Moxley's hand before the match. Moxley rejected it. Then after the match, Moxley shook his hand.
Yeah, what I like about, and yeah, Lethal was reluctant, wasn't he, at the end? But what I like about the sort of Mox and Brian characters is you've got to earn their respect.
Yeah.
They don't just, they will respect you. They'll shake your hand and they'll be, but you've got to earn it. You've got to fight them and stand up to them and give them a good match. And then and that's exactly what Wheeler Yuta did later on. And Regal was really putting him over on commentary.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? So, he was like, yeah, and I think Wheeler Yuta is the one to join their group. If anyone's going to join it,
I think they'll end up with 2 or 3 people, and I think Wheeler Yuta should be the first one for definite.
Yeah, he's shown it. But I want to say actually in this match, the final sequence for Danielson to get the win was absolutely
I think that's
brutal.
why I actually preferred this match to the Moxley one, purely because the last segment of this was beautiful. It was he hit the running knee. Then he did his kicks to the face. Yeah, he's like stomping on his head.
Then he picked him up for a pile driver. Then he hit the label lock for and he did it from tap out. He just passed out.
Yeah.
Like,
amazing.
All of those 4 things on their own have won matches before. To do all 4 of them to one guy. And it's obviously, they've said before, if you have to earn our respect and stuff.
Exactly.
And he is beating the living shit out of Wheeler Yuta. And quite, and like I say, and you mentioned it last week, but Regal on commentary with the masked man.
I love it.
Is amazing. He does it all the time. He's so funny.
He just adds so much to it because he talks about every move like it's so important. And
let's say he really puts over Wheeler Yuta as well. Really put him over.
Yeah, he really did. I really like what Regal did here. Really adds to this group.
It does.
Brian and Mox on their own are great, but to have Regal sort of heading it up and giving the commentary and the promos just makes it even better. Because Brian and Mox can talk, but they don't need to so much because Regal's there. And Regal was like just there. He's great. So yeah, I really enjoyed everything that they did on this show.
Yeah, me too.
Not quite. I mean, Brian and Wheeler Yuta could have been close for top mark for me.
Yeah, well, I Moxley and Lethal was close for me as well, top mark.
Yeah, they're both really good matches.
Yeah, just shows how good those 2 guys are.
Yeah.
We got the Jericho Appreciation Society again, cut a promo.
Yep. And then obviously they were like, they were doing their thing, like, where are they? They're not here. And then I thought this time surely they're turning up because they've done it to a couple of times now. And then they got at first beaten up by Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston, but then the numbers got the better of them, and they absolutely killed them with bats and whips and. Yeah,
Garcia had a sharpshooter on Kingston, and then Jericho hit Kingston in the back with Floyd, his bat.
Yeah.
Whilst in the sharpshooter.
Yeah. They really took them out. I was waiting for someone to come out and even it up, but nothing happened. But I feel like we're going to get
kind of 3-on-5, isn't it?
I feel like we're going to get like a stadium stampede or a blood and guts match or something big with these 2 teams, and somebody is going to help out Kingston and Santana Ortiz. I just don't know who. Yeah,
you're probably right. I wasn't that sold on the whole Garcia being a sports entertainer type thing, but I actually quite enjoyed him this week being like just the way he was speaking, and I always like the 2.0 guys. I think they're always quite fun, entertaining, quite funny to listen to. I can't remember what he funny in NXT. He was like
too much.
Was what they called
one's called like Big Daddy or something, and the other one's called Cool Hand and
Cool hand, that's it. Cool hand, Ange. Yeah, that made me laugh. That made me laugh.
Yeah, they've actually got their Twitter names as that and everything. Like they proper sold into it. I love it.
It's funny.
They're entertaining. They're perfect for this role, really, in a faction, just being like goofy as hell.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Some other good stuff. I thought last week, my skid mark actually was the disrespect to Thunder Rosa and winning the title, and the women's title in general, like the booking a bit. But I thought this week, the women, we'll get into the debut in a minute, but the women got a much better showing. I thought Thunder Rosa's passionate promo, uninterrupted, really, really good. About being not just the face of AEW, but the face of women's wrestling in general. Called out Nyla. I thought that was all really good. I thought Nyla's response was okay. I even put a note because she wrestled on Rampage and did a promo as well. Yeah. I said, Nyla talking on her own is better than with Vicky. She doesn't need it.
No, I agree.
So we got that. We got Jade and Mark Sterling with a funny little bit with bringing out Leva Bates as a challenger and then saying, no, she's not good enough. And then it was Marina Shafir who had a video package earlier on in the night.
Quite a cool package.
Obviously going to do something with her, which I think is good because she's been signed there for a bit now, but just not really.
We've never seen
wrestling on Dark and
that's the good thing about Dark is they've just got all these video clips of Marina Shafir winning matches that
we haven't seen.
So it's quite cool.
So all that stuff kind of was like minor stuff, but was good, better for the women's wrestling on the show. But then, of course, we got the big thing that happened, which was the start of the Owen Hart women's tournament. And we had Bunny with an unannounced opponent, and it ended up being Toni Storm.
Yep. I mean, I didn't hear any rumors before this. But Toni Storm was who I expected, even without hearing rumors. I thought it was going to be
either Ember Moon or Toni Storm, because there was like 4 people that had left WWE that were sort of mentioned: Ember Moon, Toni Storm, Tegan Nox, and someone else. But Tegan Nox apparently is having visa issues, so there was a lot of rumors it wouldn't be her. But it was I thought it was going to be either Ember or Toni. I actually thought it might be Ember. I don't know why.
Yeah, this was cool. I mean,
I think the other one might have been Mia Yim.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I thought this was quite a cool. I mean, this was a qualifier to get into the Owen Hart tournament, which is still not really clear on what it is or what the winner gets or anything yet.
No,
they've kept the cards close to their chest.
I like tournaments so I'm happy with them, and obviously it's going to give the women something to do because I've been complaining that apart from the big titles, women aren't being featured at the moment.
Yeah, well, I was actually thinking of when was the last time we saw Ruby Soho on TV? By the way.
I know I've seen a lot of people saying, "What if Toni gets the Ruby treatment?" I don't think she will.
We were talking about Ruby Riott, like, oh yeah, she's better than this, but she's basically played the same role in AEW. She's just a nothing person.
This is what happens when you sign a lot of people, and they don't focus on the women.
She had a big.
I'm glad they haven't signed too many of the released women because they wouldn't be using many of them.
Yeah.
Because they don't have many women's matches.
Marina Shafir's been signed for how long?
I feel like Toni Storm is a star, so
she should be. She should be.
Definitely
should be. I actually wouldn't mind if she was the one to beat Jade. By the way.
No, I wouldn't mind that.
Like, I don't think there's anyone in the company that I would want to beat Jade. I think Toni Storm coming in, I think she could be the one to beat her.
It's interesting, Toni Storm, because she requested her release from WWE. She was in a feud with the SmackDown Women's Champion at the time, which is in as high a program as you can be in, really, with Charlotte.
Yeah. The
program was terrible. Obviously, it was pies to the face, and we all criticised it. But it's interesting that she requested a release because she wasn't happy. And I did think when I saw it, it's great to see her, but if they gave her the Ruby Soho treatment, like, is she going to be happier than she was in WWE with that treatment? Like, yeah, she's not going to be booked in a silly angle, but at least she was booked on TV and with the women's champion. I don't think that's going to necessarily happen here. I think she will get a good run, but I don't know. It's one of them things. Is she going to end up unhappy again, or will she be fine? I don't know. It's just an interesting one because when people get released, I'm really happy for them because they found somewhere else to work. Like Ruby Soho got released by WWE, and found AEW and got a job, and I was like, fair play to her, But it's interesting with Toni because she actually wanted to leave, so it'll be interesting to see if she ends up being better off or not.
Yeah,
obviously Ruby was better off because she'd have had no job otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. And she did have a good initial run, Ruby.
Yeah, she did.
Just haven't seen her for a couple of months. I think the only thing we haven't mentioned is the main event. Andrade and Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Which interestingly, Andrade won. Well, I don't know if it's interesting or not, because this all just ended up with all the guys coming out again and just a big brawl again, which we've seen.
I did notice that
every
happened
week.
quite a lot on this show. The match was really, really good between Andrade and Darby.
Yeah, but especially the AFO and the Hardys and Private Party, all these guys. It happens every week.
Yeah, the feud is like never ending and just going.
The only reason they keep doing it is so they can play that Hardy save and entrance music and the pop. That's all it was. I was like, the only reason this match happened was so they could play that music at the end to get a pop. That's the only reason for this match. It's just a shame.
And we're doing the Hardys versus Butcher and Blade in a tables match on. Yeah. Is it next week?
Yep.
That'd be good, I'm sure. But this does feel like one of those feuds now that's just never ending and going around in a bit of a circle.
Yeah.
And I did note actually. I wrote on my notes. There's one more segment that we hadn't talked about really, which was the main title angle again. We always seem to not talk about it, but. So the undisputed elite. I mean, I did touch on it earlier, but I loved Adam Cole just sticking his name on a piece of paper on like sellotape over the name on the belt. That was great. But again, he said, "Oh, Adam Page isn't here tonight, and neither Jurassic Express." And I noted that was the third time in that night we'd had the same angle, because we had it with MJF and Wardlow, and we also had it with Jericho and Santana Ortiz. Was like, "Oh, they're not here."
Oh,
they got attacked and they come back and attack them.
That's a good point. Yeah,
3 times that happened on this show.
Yeah,
and I was like, poor. This is a bit much.
That is poor writing. You should not do that 3 times on one show.
Yeah, and I did think that was. I mean, the Wardlow one made complete sense. I loved the Wardlow one.
Yeah,
but why did they need to say that Hangman Page and Jurassic Express aren't there? They were. Why wouldn't they be there?
Yeah, like, Hangman Page is a champion. If he's not there, then something's wrong.
Like, Wardlow made sense because he's been suspended.
Yeah.
But not suspended, but fired by MJF or whatever. So it kind of made sense. But they did it 3 times, and I did note that was a bit lazy. And then even then, like in that last one as well, like just a big brawl, they do repeat stuff a little bit. It's still fun to watch though. Like, it's not a major criticism. It's just
no. In general, I'm just very, very fatigued with the AFO, Darby's, Hardys, the brawls. Of just because we've also not just they do brawl every week, but we've also had 2 like tornado tag matches that just go into the ground everywhere, and everyone's fighting everyone, and everyone turns up.
That feud could have ended last week with that amazing match that I think Krusty gave it the top mark with a Jeff Hardy Swanton. They could have ended a feud with that. That was a feud ending style match.
Yep. No, I agree. It's just and again, I don't think there is an end goal to this. I just feel like they just keep. What's the end goal? Andrade v Darby might have been the end goal, but we just had that.
I'm hoping the Hardys and the Butcher and the Blade's the last match, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's more to come yet.
Yeah, I
just want to see them move on to something else. I want the Hardys to have like a proper tag run, like on their own tagging.
Yeah, me too. I just want to get away from AFO. I actually want Andrade to do more as well, because I think he's really good.
It was cool that he won here, though. I know. Yeah. Like, obviously, it means Darby had to lose, but Andrade hasn't won enough big matches like on Dynamite and stuff. I like it.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Yeah,
I will say that was at least good. I would say.
Yeah. I've got nothing else for.
No, I think that's it. I think that's it for this week.
A-dub, yeah. Do you know what that means, though? We are now on the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah, we're on our way.
We are taking the last turn in.
I'm getting a taxi with Veer.
He's not going.
It might take me a while.
Get a taxi with Cody.
Yeah.
Be there.
Hopefully he's there. But yes, so that is it. That is it for this week, really. But yeah, look out for our Twitter. Follow us at Recharge Wrestle, and also follow Robot Republic _. And look out for loads of stuff coming up. So we've got predictions are already up for NXT and WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. That counts as one show. You got a chance to win a t-shirt at the end of the year.
Get involved.
It's a really fun thing to do. Obviously, with it being Mania, we will have podcasts coming out from all kinds of directions. Next week, hopefully we'll have at least one review, if not 2, of one of each night. Plus, we'll probably briefly mention Stand and Deliver as well. We might have videos separately on our YouTube to cover Stand and Deliver, just little short reviews if we don't manage to fit in a full pod for all of them. Also, look out for our gaming stuff on YouTube.
Yep.
So follow us there. It's just Recharge Wrestling on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
it is.
Yeah, follow us on there as well. We really want to get more subscribers and stuff on there.
We are in the midst of.
And if you like watching gaming, which I know a lot of people who listen to this podcast love gaming, we've started doing the universe mode. Me and you, me versus you, Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah, we're in the midst of tournaments to crown our first champions.
Yeah, so it's only just got going, so you wouldn't have missed much. You can go back and watch all of our videos. It wouldn't take long. Yeah, keep an eye on that. We're doing so much content, and this is our busiest time of year with WrestleMania, so we've got a lot to look out for. So yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, keep an eye on what we're doing, and as always, listen to this pod every Friday morning when it comes out, or whenever you listen to it. If you're in the, when you're on your drive to work, or
when you're in the bath.
If you're in your bath,
yeah,
you're on the toilet, whatever you're doing, there's always time to recharge. So yeah, and that's it for this week. And I'm sure you'll hear us soon for WrestleMania reviews.
Yeah, enjoy WrestleMania,
guys,
yeah.
And anything else you might be doing this weekend.
And see you later. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.